Have you ever had a junk journal hangover? This is what mine looks like. Well, this last night I was doing just embellishing some of my paper bag journal, and I have actually redone the cover. This is the third time. I've taken things out, I've redone it, and I finally came to the epiphany that this journal is all about women. I don't know why that occurred to me, but I also remembered that one of my snippet rolls was very strongly female focused, and so I have been using my snippet rolls on her. This is 3 sections of that snippet roll. Then I found this her. It would have been better to have she grammatically, but it works. And then I put this one on the edge and this one on the back. And from there, everything seemed to fall into place. And this is my regular desk. It's not my work table, which is easier to sit at. Sorry about the dog barking. He is supposed to be napping, and he doesn't want to. I have been in really deep pain. I've been actually bedridden for the last 2 days. I'm finally on some good meds that are helping me to be able to sit up and do things. So that's why all this happened. And that's why I'm not playing with the dog as much as my husband's been doing that. So anyways, I wanted to just take you along with me as I continue to maybe recover from this hangover. All of this stuff. And I just pulled out some more stuff. I am really enjoying this. This is really neat because this was part of a greeting card that somebody had signed to somebody. And it said, "Then surely gladness will be yours and greatest joy be found because of friendly wishes with which your book is bound." Isn't that perfect? It's just, sometimes things come together. And I have also been using a few pieces of my Franken paper roll. And I'm just trying to get this all done because next week I'm supposed to bring it to the fair. So I told them I was going to bring it to the fair. So yeah, it's get this done. Oh, this is so pretty. I was thinking about putting this here because it kind of matches that. And I don't want to do too much women's stuff in a row. Not that that's a bad thing. But it also provides a little bit of journaling space here. But I don't know. It seems like it needs something else. And what that is a rough edge. And there goes part of the journaling space. And that's how it goes. Unless I do something like that. Yeah, that works better. Definitely. There we go. Potatoes. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. Leave one edge like that. And we're just going to do a little collage here. Some of this tea-dyed paper. So, when I first started this, I had no idea which direction I went. I was trying to do like the fairy tale, and it didn't work. And I said, I don't like covering up all this stuff in here. I'm covering it up. But some of it is peeking through. It actually works better than a fairy tale journal would have. And I'm going to do that in here. And I am just not questioning much. I'm just grabbing some of the supplies that I have pulled out and putting it where it seems to work. And that is just, part of it is because I need to have this done. And another part is, sometimes when we overthink things, it gets a little difficult. So, there you go. Yeah, that works. And then you have a little journal spot. You can journal on this, which I could put something on it, but I don't know. We're just going to get the bigger stuff down. I have some of those, remember the calendar pages that I was trying to work in? Where did I put those? Oh, there they are. I put them on my laptop. Okay, so I have, oh, this is a pretty cool image too of a woman. So I have these as well, and I know I wanted to keep them together to do a fairy tale journal, but, well, this one isn't exactly working here. I'm trying to do real women, not fantasy women. I know this, something like this is not exactly real, but not somebody with feathers or fairies. So I was trying to put one of these into each signature, and I think this lady will fit nicely on here. So we're going to put her there. And since I have hardly any room on my desk, I'm basically balancing this not on a flat surface here. But what I wanted to say was that when I first started this, what I was saying, I really didn't know where I was going to go with this. And I did a video about trusting the process. And I really believe that, for me at least, because it just seemed like I knew there was something that was going to be right for this, but I didn't quite know yet what it was. And that seems to have been true. I think we need some, of course. Well, that was funny. At the same time, my cell phone and the landline rung. That does not happen often. And like I said, whenever I start to sit down and do something here, the phone rings. I don't know why, but it hasn't rung like I don't know, for a long time. We're going to do a pocket, and I think we're going to just make it so it sticks that way. So I'm going to skin around the two corners that are going to be open. And yes, we do have a landline because I live somewhere where the cell phone just doesn't come in at our house. So we're going to just glue like that and make this into a pocket. And also another benefit of rounding the two corners that are going to be open is when you glue it, you glue the correct edges. I can't be the only one who glues the edges, the wrong edges sometimes. And you've probably seen me do that. Anyways, like, this is all just a creative process, and it's not something that, I mean, there's time, yes, definitely I have ripped out some of the elements that I put in when it didn't work anymore, but it's okay because it's paper, and it's mostly scrap. I like her. There, that's nice. And I am breaking my rule of doing first half of one signature because I've already got a bunch of this stuff in. This is that, and a little envelope. And I haven't stuffed this stuff with embellishments yet. We need something here. Oh, actually, I should put one of these in each of my signatures. So let me do that and get those pages out of the way. And this is a cool tag. This is part of an old book that I had taken apart a long time ago. And then this is part of a yarn label, one of those from the Skein of Yarn. Lower. It's perfect. It's Morgan Le Fay, by the way. And we have, let's just go with what we have here. We have this woman. This all parts of women here. And she's with her family, so this actually might work right here. And I'm going to fussy cut her. I think I'm only going to fussy cut her and her daughter because I want this to be more of a female. And again, I'm going to add in some extra paper here to make it look like this is the spot that you journal on. But I wonder if I should add this. I don't know. I want to add it, but I don't know where. I'm going to grab some of my coffee dye paper. I know you can write on this, but it just feels like when you put this down, it frames it better. I don't know if you know what I mean. But let me show you. Where is that one? Oh, it's over this way. This one is one of my favorite pages. This one. Look at that. I love this one. So, where was I? Here. So, Or I could put her here because this is a slippery one. And we could just make a small one. Let's do that. And that way, I think I can fit this here because this thing bothers me. I had printed this onto my, this is a printable. And when I took it off, I'm like, this looks weird because a button envelope had stuck to the paper all through the printer process. And there it is. So I have a button pack that has this exact image on it. And one of the things that is struggles that I have is that I am really trying to not buy anything, not except for like glue or whatever tools that I need. And when I decided, oh, I'm going to do women, so I pulled out all the stuff on women I could find that was handy. I'm like, I really need a cool picture for the cover, but I can't find one. So my mind went to, I need to go buy one. I need to get a printable, at the very least, because that won't take up any extra room in my place. But, actually, right there. I'm like, but I don't need to buy anything. So just the creativity of not buying anything put me down the path of just putting sections of the snippet roll onto the cover. I had cut out, I'll show you here as soon as I'm done with this. I like how the colors go together in the old world look there. I had cut out this lady. She was a part of a 3 portrait set. There's no name on it. Unfortunately, there would be no way of figuring out who these people are. But I cut it out and I thought this would be the woman on the cover. But it just didn't work out because I wanted to make it a little more quirky and not as, just, oh, this is a grungy, beautiful one. This is a little bit more quirky and as you can see. So, and then this worked. Anyways, okay, we were doing this. Getting distracted. So that's that. Okay, and then the next signature, we do have this lady. And I think, again, I'm going to cut her out. But I'm going to do more of a rough fussy cut around her. I'm going to go up because I want to preserve this border in case I ever need it. I don't know if there's a name for this type of fussy cutting. It's not as when you don't actually fussy cut along the lines. Except right there, of course, where I want to. So if you know if there is a name for that, let me know. Okay. Good. Actually, I'm going to make that more rounded and she looks like she's on a nest. Maybe I'm going to do a little bit more here. That's better. And I no longer like this. I almost feel like I'm editing a book. I am trying to edit my book. Of course, I'm rewriting it quite a bit, but this is what happens is you take things out, you put things in that you like, and you find out what is the soul of the book. She needs something to be focusing on, though. Let's see if we can find something. These are all pockets. It's a page of pockets. I don't think I have anything on this section that is what she's focusing on. So maybe this. I like that, but it needs something to ground it. There's some background stuff. Oh, bad girls. Good girls. Perfect. You know, I've got these things from the free store. And I kind of like that. Alright, we've got a few assortment here. And this almost reminds me of Morgan Le Fay from Arthurian Legends. And I don't like the square edge. Okay, that follows a little bit better with the circular. And as I was saying, it reminds me of Arthurian legend. I don't know if I'm going to include this or not. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. I'm going to also mention I have not done my nails, and that's part of being in pain a lot. And I know I've had early on a comment that I need to do my nails. But I did respond kindly to the person that I deal with a lot of chronic issues. I have bad nails because of it, and I don't always have the energy and time to do them. I try to for you all, but oops, you know, I think we're going to do this. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, and if it's a choice between I'm going to get a video out or not, sometimes that is what the choice is. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue her in the middle. I also did kindly say that maybe when you see somebody who doesn't have perfect nails, that you think compassionately about them and not judgmental. That maybe they're struggling with something you don't know about and they still want to share things. No, not everyone's perfect. We all don't have to have perfect nails, perfect hands, perfect bodies. So hopefully that helped that person. I don't know, maybe I'm out of line. Maybe, what do you think? Should I have my nails always done? Because if so, it's not a guarantee that I'm always going to have a video up. If I have to, all the hoops that I have to jump through dealing with, you know, chronic issues. I mean, there's times when I'm just fine and everything's great. And other times, like right now, I'm struggling, but I did want to share this with you, this process, because I thought it was so cool, the breakthrough that I had with it. And instead of not videotaping it, I'm enjoying just sticking this down. I think we'll add some over here too. Oh, you know what? We're going to just add this to the bottom. But before we do that, we might want to add a few more things. Maybe? I think what I'm going to do is put a pocket down here, so then it's like made it useful. Not that everything in a journal has to be useful, but it seems like, yeah, it would be nice to have spots where it should be, like that. I like that. I don't normally get into this kind of thing, and I'm actually thinking of pulling this apart. Then I have two, and it also doesn't stick out as much, because if I do put a pocket down here, then I don't want it to catch on this. So I guess I'm just saying that if same thing. If you see somebody who's not perfect, obviously that's me, and we don't always have everything together, but we still want to share with you the process. I don't know, just have a little compassion maybe. Here, let's turn us some light on. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Let's see what else I can do here. Just go to town on this. Use up as much of this as I want to. Took some leaves in here. Actually, I should have done that. Can still do that here. What else do I have? I put it like that, or balance it out there. Why don't we do that? That softens the edges. I like it to come out over both. Gives a little bit more of a depth. I think I am going to stick this one over here. So one of the things of figuring out where to stick stuff is following the rule of thirds. You probably heard of it mentioned, but here I have 2 points here and then I have a third, but I don't want to put it right in the middle because then it's just too much, too regular. So then I put it off a little bit. Maybe you don't like it, that's fine, but that's how I do it. And I think, oh, should we do that? And then I'm going to put it off center though. But then, I don't know. Let's see here. There we go. You can put this off center here. So she's got like the violet here, and here is like the pretty flowers. Field of pretty flowers. And here's roses. Suppose if I had thought about it more, maybe I would have put all the pink ones over on this side. But I'm just doing it. Here's this. I don't think I need that. Take this off so it doesn't stick to other things in the box. Or just stick this on somewhere. Is this going to be too much? If I do that, I think, no, I think not, because more is better, right? And once it's down, nobody's gonna say, oh, I wish you wouldn't have put that cluster of flowers on. Right, hopefully not. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Oops, let's hold this down. You know, maybe I will put something up there. This little one. I did do a video earlier of embellishing this, and I am not putting it up because most of the stuff, a lot of the stuff on there I've changed, so it would be kind of frustrating to see that, and then you're like, oh, but that's not the same. And but one of the things that I mentioned on there was that yeah, I am trying to get rid of some stuff and keep things more simple. And I think I just like the simplicity of paper and glue and like my paper cutter. I don't think this one's going to work taking this off. I had bought at the Joann's, one of I think I did go in one more time after I did the video because I just couldn't resist it. I bought a Sizzix foldaway. It was only 31 bucks. And I'm like, ooh, then I can do embossing and die cutting. And since then, it has been sitting in my office doing nothing. I did not have any desire to take it out of the box, learn it. And part of it, I think, here I'm talking about health again, is I only have so much energy. I don't know about this one. And I think if I go up a little bit here, it'll complement that one spot. I decided I don't need it. And so I sold it on Poshmark. Well, I sold it. And I did make a little money off of it, but not, terrible, because I didn't want to charge people too much more than what I paid for, but I did go and it was a good deal. And I don't know if I don't see them around a lot. And it just kind of tells me that you don't really need a lot of equipment to do junk journaling. All you really need is glue and paper. And you don't really need a paper cutter. You don't really need scissors. You can just tear things. Of course, your fingers might get tired after a while. It would take more time sometimes than the scissors, but I mean, most people have a pair of scissors at their house. There. Oh, page done. I like it. And I might as well put a pocket down now. I think I might have something here. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Not overthinking things today. I'm just doing it. So, really, all you need to start junk journaling is glue and paper. You don't need all the fancy equipment. Sometimes it's just nice to just sit down with a bottle of glue and you're at your desk and a few things. Keep it simple. I almost wish I could have just like a small amount of stuff. I have so much. Oops, sorry. I just have so much. And I wish it was less. I am going to use the butterfly ladies. And I wish I had more of a limit on what I have in my stash. I'm not really sure where I'm going with that one yet. Maybe the butterfly ladies. No, they're orangey. Oh, maybe there's no room for the butterfly ladies. I'll put them here. Okay, well, I guess we can think about them. But I think there's a saying, you've probably heard it, called an Amish moment. And we talked about this a lot when I was doing quilting. I need something here. And what it basically is a thought that there's no women left on that one. Oh, we have her. I like this lady. Gladys. She needs some color. I'm distracting myself, I know. I have this too. I think this will work nicely. Okay, what was I even saying? I know. I'm a mess today. It's because, like I said, I've been in bed with the last couple days. Oh, I know, Amish moment, thank you. Which is ironic because that's kind of what this feels like. Where I think, do we want to do a pocket? I think she can fold open. Maybe we put her up like this, like that. See, I want to go like this with her, but I like her against the white. So I think we're going to do that. Okay, so the Amish moment thing. That is when they say that the Amish, I don't know how true this is, but the Amish people women always put in a mistake in their quilts because the only one who is a perfect creator is God. And so they deliberately put a mistake into them. There's also a rumor that happens, like, was it Turkey or someone where they have those Turkish rubbing rugs, and that they also have that theory. You know what I think? I'm going to put her on top of this. Anyway. Yeah. And roughly to there, to the edge of that glue. So we used to joke that, oh, I just had an Amish moment when we made a mistake. And that would just, you know, be a lighthearted way of saying, oh, yuck, I messed up. Now I have to rip out all these stitches or something. Or I sewed something in upside down again. You know, just some things happen to me with paper and with fabric. And there's another saying that I used to say a lot with quilting is done is better than perfect. You can get caught up in perfectionism with this. I certainly can. And I feel like this needs something. You know what it is? It's a ruffle. We're just going to make a ruffle, put a ruffle on the edge. I think I want this section with the music on it. So that's something to think about. I don't know. What do you think? I still think it feels like it needs something here. Then maybe we need a picture of a woman. I have a few that I have some old printables. So oh, I also have these greeting cards. I love when I was in my 20s, I used to subscribe to this magazine called Victoria. Maybe you've heard of it. And in the back, they had a company called Victorian Papers, Victorian Greetings. And I still have some of theirs. I wonder if they're valuable now. But it was beautiful, just gorgeous. Maybe not on this page, but we have this bumblebee over here, and I'm almost wondering with the yellow Jamaica, I don't know. Oh, this is perfect. Yep, we're doing that. So that is something to think about. I know there's so many people I see who say, I want to start junk journaling, but I'm afraid I'm going to mess up. So have your Amish moments. It's just paper. And can always be ripped out, covered up. I like this piece of the snippet roll. I think I might have read this one to you. We are the angry ones, but we shall watch no more over works of men, and so act. We shall let loose indiscriminate death. Man shall learn from man's lot, forejudge the evils of his neighbor's case, see respite and windfall in the storm, pathetic prophet who consoles with strength and strengthless cures from pain. I think this is getting to be like a feminist journal. And that's, I think I'm just going to let this one speak for itself. And we have this. This is very slippery, so I think we definitely need to put something here, which might be this. I wonder, though, how this is going to glue. This is so slippery. I do have this roll of double-sided tape that I got from a estate sale. I have no idea if it still works, because who knows how old it is, but we're going to try it. So I've heard that double-sided tape is better for slippery things, so we're going to test that theory. I have not used double-sided tape before. Okay, so I've got about 10 to 15 minutes more, and I'm going to have to take my dog out, and then I'm going to lay down some more, because I don't want to overdo it and have a relapse. And then because I also have to edit this video. I don't know, I've been chatty, so maybe I'll let all that stay in. Sometimes I edit out a lot of stuff because I think nobody's going to be interested in hearing that. But you might just find out if you are or not, depending on how much energy I have for editing. I know that a lot of people who junk journal actually deal with chronic issues. And that's probably why we junk journal. Because it's something we can do little bits at a time, sitting here. And it's not stressful hobby. It's actually very relaxing. It's very therapeutic. And I do love that. I actually wish I would have put something else up here, but it's sticking quite well. But then I'd have to do more sticky stuff. So that, good estate sale finding. I go to the offices, and they usually have a box of miscellaneous stationery for like $5-10. And I'll often buy that because nobody else wants them. And then we have this on the back, but I kind of like that. You can see what that is. Do we have a thin snippet roll or something? What do I have left? Oh, and then this. Bite on the bullet, man, and don't let them think you're afraid. No, this is, we're doing women. So is there any other women stuff on this one? We have her. People live deeply and have no fear of death. I think we will do her. My snippet roll is now basically snippets. We're going to put her down there to kind of cover that up. We might as well make it a pocket. We can always not use it as a pocket. And where am I going to get all this stuff to stuff this stuff with? I don't know. But that's part of the process. It's part of the messy process. And just have fun. I didn't know where I was going to go with this journal. And now it's like, I think this is one of my favorite ones ever. It's like a piece of art. Okay. And this, I'm not sure if I like the ribbons. I'm going to leave it for now, though. That's the space. What do I have left here? I'm just a lot of the same. And it's ruler. And I do have, what do you call it? Distress inks to give it corners. I think you've saw me do that. And I think that this could benefit a lot by that. But again, this is just simpler. I think she is the winner. And I'm going to tear the edge. I don't have a flat surface, so this could be funny, kind of questionable. Sometimes when we have imperfections and we don't have the ideal thing, we can really get creative and come out with something better than what we thought. And that is part of why I like junk journaling. I'll leave it. There. I do have a feeling that I'm going to be putting my best stuff in the first signature, and the rest of it I will lose my mojo, which is why I usually do one half of half of signature at a time. Put one in each, but I'm just gonna go with it because I'm really enjoying this. And you can hear my alarm bell has just sung. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk about imperfections, challenges. Be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. And we're all women, or well, there might be some men watching, but we're all humans. And we all are just navigating life as best we are able. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a joyful day. Goodbye.